heavy is that? Light work with the bass on the track, on my face to the back like I'm taking a slap. I need a drink, but it's straight from the tap. And I'm hating the slack, couple man slide around.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSG, that soccer guy, and welcome back to a Premier League match preview for Chelsea versus Manchester United. In this video, I'm going to be going through my starting lineup and giving you my score predictions. With that being said, let's get straight into it. So look, guys, this is one of those games where, I've kind of been waiting for this whole season. Manchester United has not been performing. You can never count United out, though. We have some injury problems ourselves. They are coming into the game with some injury problems. Makes for a very interesting game. Super excited for the game tomorrow. So let's get right into my lineup. Starting as the goalkeeper is the only person that I can put in the team right now. Edouard Mendy. He does things in games which recently he hasn't even been needed. But when he is needed, he can do that job for us. He can make sure we walk away with that clean sheet. It's ridiculous how many clean sheets he's had since he's come into the team. And overall, he's been a tremendous player for us. And he picks himself for the starting lineup every week. Now, as far as the defense could shape very differently than the last game. But I actually predicted the same back three. With that being said, of course, as P or Christensen could always end up being in this team. You never truthfully know. But in my opinion, I think Chalobah's been too good to replace him. Thiago Silva in the middle, that goal line clearance was absolutely phenomenal. He had a great performance in the game. I think that kind of keeps him in the team as well. And Rudiger is another one who's had a great performance. I think as far as Christensen and Aspi, they're kind of unlucky as far as how good the team has been doing. Aspi has to be on the bench just in case Alonso gets an injury, due to the fact that he's the only other person I would trust to play as that left wing back. So I don't think you start him knowing that if something happens to Alonso, he's the last option. We're not as comfortable as we could be in that left wing back slot with Ben Chilwell being out. And we need somebody like Aspi to cover that space. So unfortunately, that's why I don't believe he's going to be getting playing time. Christensen definitely could slot in for Thiago Silva or Chalobah in this game. He's been good enough this season to come into the team. I just don't know whether or not we'll do that. I guess it all depends on how good the training has been. Thiago Silva, whenever he can put a string of games together, I think that's wise to do. Let him put that string of games together. He's playing as best as he can right now, especially at his age. We're thinking about renewing a contract. He's been brilliant. That's my back three. As far as the midfield, obviously it's going to look a little different with two injuries. Ben Chilwell is going to be out for at least 6 weeks, and if he's not better, that's going to require surgery. And N'Golo Kanté, they said, is probably going to be out for at least a week, which means Marcos Alonso comes back into the lineup. He hasn't had a bad season. Ben Chilwell's just been at an insane level this season, which has kept him out of the team. This is really Alonso's chance to prove himself, get in some performances, because obviously he's going to be starting most of the next couple games unless they decide to put somebody else there. I don't know who else can play in that position. Some people say Saul can play left back. I'm not too sure about that. And I know Aspi can, but I don't know if he's going to be comfortable as the wing back. I think Alonso's our best pick right there. He's in the team for me. Ruben Loftus-Cheek replaced Kanté in the last game and played the majority of the game. He was one of our best players on the pitch. I think he picks himself for this lineup. And then, of course, Jorginho is the other option there, as Kovacic is not back yet. And I wouldn't put Barkley and Ruben Loftus-Cheek next to each other. I think Jorginho's passing ability with Ruben Loftus-Cheek's pressure is perfect. And then, of course, the man, the myth, Reece James. Nobody's taking him out of this team right now. He's been playing so good. Like I keep saying in every video, probably the best right wing back in the world right now. And he picks himself for this team every game. There's no way you can replace a guy like that. Getting into the forwards, I liked how Pulisic played last game, but I don't think he was good enough. I think he needs to play in that left wing spot, and unfortunately for him, Callum Hudson-Odoi has been too good to replace. Ziyech is an interesting one. I think he had a really good game last game, one of our best players. Mount could come back into this team. It could be Mount on the right. I think Hudson-Odoi is too good to get rid of. Timo Werner, I think, should come in and start. We tried the Pulisic thing. It didn't work out. Timo Werner's been back, allowed to be in training. I don't know if he's still at 100% fitness. He might come off the bench again, which could possibly give Pulisic another chance up front. I think we need somebody with pace running at their players. I know Varane and Harry Maguire are both out for this next game, so I'm sure they're going to have Lindelof and Bailly at their two at the back. I don't know who else they would play. I guess Phil Jones, but those guys aren't incredibly fast. So if we can put somebody with pace going against them like Timo Werner, that would be very beneficial. Somebody that will play at defenders like Callum Hudson-Odoi, and somebody with the creativity of Hakeem Ziyech will be a masterpiece for us. And I think that's going to be the best way we can play. Like I said, Mason Mount could play on that right side and keep Ziyech on the subs bench. But I think with how Ziyech played in the last game, he should be in the starting lineup. As far as the subs bench for me, this is what it looks like. Of course, Rom is sitting there on the bench. You can't really take Rom out. I don't think he's going to start. I say he probably has another game or two on the bench before he gets a starting spot. I think it's because Thomas Tuchel wants to be very careful with how he sends him straight back into his team. He doesn't want to aggravate the injury. I think it's the same thing he's been doing with Timo Werner, slowly building him back to the team. Of course, Pulisic is on the bench. Saul, Malang Sarr, Asp has to be there. Christensen, unfortunate not to play. Kepa, of course, is going to be that backup goalkeeper for us. And then, of course, Mason Mount and Ross Barkley, who, honestly, either one of these guys could end up being in the starting lineup. I wouldn't be surprised. But overall, I think we should have the starting lineup that I picked. The team is going to have, I think, another great performance against a Manchester United side that's kind of trying to find their way right now under Michael Carrick. Ralph Rangnick is to be appointed. I don't think he's going to be there in time for the game. So it's going to be another Michael Carrick game. I think we can exploit that. I think the team's a lot weaker. Pogba's not going to be in there, which leaves Van de Beek is probably going to get an opportunity, which is probably good for him. He hasn't had a lot of opportunity. I'm sure Sancho will be playing in that wing spot to go against Alonso, which will probably keep Rudiger busy. I think they're dangerous going up against Alonso on that right side. I think Reece James and Chalobah on the other side will be good. I think this team is good enough to win for sure. As brutally as the teams have been beating United lately, of course, 5-2 Watford, and then you had the 5 or 6-0 from Liverpool. I think this is one of those games where we also go and win. I don't see us losing to the team. I see it being a 3-1 with a goal from Callum Hudson-Odoi, a goal from Reece James, and a goal from Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Our team is more than good enough to go into this game and win. I think we will get the win. And overall, we are a much better team than United is currently. Can't count United out. They could still turn this around with Ralph Rangnick. They could still end up competing for the title this season. It could become a four-legged race for the title. Overall, you can't count a team like this out. But with how good we've been performing recently, I think we have more than enough quality to beat this team and get the win, keep us at the top of the Premier League. With all that being said, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I can do better in the comment section down below. And until next time, it's been your boy, TSG, That Soccer Guy, signing out.
How heavy is that? Light work with the bass on the track, on my face to the back like I'm taking a slap. I need a drink, but it's straight from the tap. And I'm hating the slack.